Hey folks, James from Bommer here with another feature video, and today I am excited to announce to you that we are bringing one of our most requested features to Bommer. That's right, real tables built for you in your drawing sheets with live Bommer data. But let's dive in, shall we? As you can see here, we have our air quality sensor, but that's not what we're really here for, so let's take this to the drawing space, shall we? Once we're in the drawing space, you can see that we have this nice drawing drafted up, but there's a new tab for those of you with a discerning eye. This is where all of your new Bommer drawing utilities will be housed. If we get right to it, you can place a table here. This acts exactly as a native table in a Fusion drawing, so we're just going to place one of these in the upper left-hand corner, and there it is. Now, there are two ways you can edit this table. You can press on this button, wait a moment, and then click on the table, or you can just double-click on the table itself, see the data load a second, and then here's your data to edit. Let's start with the basics. First, let's add items to our table. You can select items individually as so, or you can click the three dots next to an item to say select the children, select all the descendants, or unselect the children and unselect all the descendants. In this case, I want to select all the children of the root component. So now we can see that our table is a little bit more populated, but let's say the title of part number needs to change. We need to use the number sign because our manufacturer is a little bit of a stickler. We change that, and as you can see, the change to the column is now reflected in the table itself. So hypothetically, let's say we aren't geniuses, and you want to control what property data appears in your drawing table. We've made that easy for you. By selecting the wrench icon next to a property in a column, you can insert a column before the column, insert a column after, change the property of the column, or remove the column outright. You can also combine the rows in a column by the selected property. This, of course, changes depending on which column you have selected, but what it will do is it'll see similar items in a column and roll them up by that value. In this case, however, we want to insert a column after quantity. We're going to scroll down until we find the property we desire, which in this case will be vendor price. And after the data populates on this particular table, we can then see that it pops up on the drawing table itself. Let's say you want to sort the values. We give you control of that as well by pressing the arrows next to the property name. As you can see here, they're now sorted lowest to highest, and those changes appear on the table itself in the drawing. Now let's say you want to make some aesthetic changes. You can change the width of a column on this table, and the changes will be reflected in your drawing table. Or you can even change the size of the font, say a little bit larger, a little bit smaller, until you get it just right. Press OK, and these changes are saved. Let's say you want to edit the width of a column without opening Bommer though. You can select the table and change the width of a column directly. Remember, these tables are native Fusion tables, so they will respect the same rules. And with that, this drawing is ready to... What's all this test data? Okay, time to show off the last feature that comes with Bommer this time. By going back to the original model, going to Tools, and editing the bills of materials, we can then go and change the description to get rid of all this pesky test data. And once that's done, we'll go ahead and push these edits to the link components. And after that's finished, we will go ahead and save the model. Once the save is complete, we go back to the drawing space. We see that we have all these out-of-date components, and we go to update the out-of-date components. After Fusion does a little bit of thinking, and then Bommer does a little bit of thinking, we can see that our table now reflects the live data in our model. Well, folks, that's all I have for you today. As always, I'll include some useful links in the description down below, including where you can download Bommer from the Autodesk App Store. Don't take my word for it, go give it a try yourself. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like the channel, or just like hearing the sound of my voice, please consider subscribing. You know, just to be kept up to date on all the latest Bommer news. Regardless, have an awesome day.